Here alongside Arizona State offensive lineman Ben Coleman here at Big 12 Media Day. Ben, I assume it's been a pretty busy summer for all of you collectively, but what the past couple of weeks, months look like for you this summer?
I think work. We'll find out how good can we be each and every single day. That's something that Coach Dillingham preaches. And that's something that we harp on too as players, as leaders. It's a harp to the younger guys. It's just say, man, don't worry about the long distance. Don't worry about if it's Monday, what's going on, it's going to happen on Friday. Just worry about how good can we be today? How many mistakes can we make so we can correct and make sure we're not making the same mistakes in the following days.
Yeah, and you're making that transition from left guard to center. You've already talked a lot about how that transition's going to be. But Coach Arroyo said something pretty interesting about you in the spring. He said that you're applying a lot of pressure onto yourself late nights, early mornings, as you just kind of alluded to. What is kind of your goal and your mindset, just applying that pressure to yourself? And do you think that's something that's seen kind of not just by you, but around the team, everyone applying more pressure?
Well, I can definitely speak as far as the offensive line coach, Coach Saga. He always says Monday through Friday, I want to be the most pressure you guys will face. I want to be the most criticism you guys face so that when you guys on Saturday, he says, I let you roll. So I think that's, we've kind of adapted that as individuals and as people. We joke and laugh around a lot about not being detailed because that's something that Coach Saga talks about all the time. JT earlier dropped his pass to get in the media day. And I'm like, man, you're not detailed, man. Like, they're not detailed all the time. So I think that was important because we use that to joke around, but it's a real thing about being detailed because that's really how we live. So that's something that we've been trying to harp on each and every day is that, man, it's one, obviously, continue to go through hard work, but at the same time, how detailed can we be each and every day?
Yeah, talking about those details, you're going into year 7. You've been around the block for a while. Have you, as you reflect on year 1 to now, how do you feel like those details have been fine-tuned, and how do you feel like you've matured both as a person and a player through this process?
I think as a person, you go through adversity. We talk about that Achilles injury when I felt like that was going to be my last year at college football. Then to come back for another year and you feel like that's going to be your last year of college football. You see the opportunity to come back and realize that this unfinished business as far as myself as a person, emotionally, mentally, and physically, to be able to adapt. So I think that was important for me to come back for that last year. Like you talked about it, being through this many years. I know those first 2 years for me flew by. You go through a retro, you go through a COVID year, all of a sudden it's year 3 out of nowhere. I feel like I'm taking advantage of my opportunity as much as I can, so I look forward to this year. But at the same time, I know I need to use my experience for a lot of new teammates, whether they transferred in here. We have a few offensive linemen that transferred in here. You talk about the twins, you talk about Jametto, you talk about Big Doug, guys that transferred in, and then we talk about freshmen as well. Like, how can I use my experience, like you said, through it's going to be 7 years when I'm finished with this thing, and apply that to them so that they can start their ball rolling and make their transition a little bit easier.
Yeah, you talked about kind of a new look O-line in a lot of senses, and you're a leader on this team at this point vocally, but also you set the example. What's the example that you want to set for your unit?
We talked about it being detailed. I think it's the small things. Being detailed each and every day. How can I be detailed in my life? Because even with Coach Chalk, we talk about it's not necessarily about a football thing. We're trying to build great men. And I think that's really important for those guys to understand is that I know when you come from high school, it's want to be football and I want to play and I love the big shining lights and I love, all those big moments, but understand you build up to those things by just being detailed each and every day. And we showed those guys last year, man, we just focused on how good can we be each and every day and how can we make mistakes and then focus on making new mistakes and not the same mistake.
Yeah, and real quick too, something that not a lot of people might not know about you is that your dad also played football at a collegiate and professional level, played in the NFL for 9 years it was. So what did he kind of help teach you, not just as a player, but also to grow into this leader and kind of jack of all trades presence as you are today?
I think patience. I struggled with it a long time. I struggled with it growing up, and maybe I struggle with it even a little bit now because everybody wants things to happen right now, right? And everything's not going to happen overnight, so just be patient. When I get injured, I was very frustrated. You go through those thoughts, those deep thoughts, and not necessarily do I not want to play again, but like, where do I sit now? Where do I fit now? And so my dad understand, like, okay, just go rehab. Oh, you get a year, and he always tells me, I always like to joke, oh, you thought you were going to be done this year. Oh, yeah, I really didn't think that your play was really, that good in my opinion. I thought you had more in the tank. I thought there was more for your body. I thought more from a mental and physical aspect. I thought that you had time. So I think it was really important, and it's kind of funny, but he's always told me, be patient, be patient, be patient. When I was younger, I couldn't stand it, but now I understand.
Awesome, Ben. I appreciate your time.
No doubt.
Best of luck this season.
Go Devils.
Thank you, man.